Yeah, because we're doing the
Oh my
we're doing the we're doing the 12-hour live stream on YouTube, so that's what we're gonna try. So will you get the YouTube up just to test how good the YouTube looks?
Oh, drop the thing. Do you still have access to that YouTube account?
I do, yeah.
Cool. I still have to go back and find out which ones we need to fucking delete.
Man, do you remember? Man, we are live on YouTube for the first time since episode 3.
We're live right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe
live,
I shouldn't have
man.
said that on air.
Kieran did not. Kieran did nothing. Kieran's just very worried about what like stupid comments he made, or maybe he's just very insecure, which is true.
No, I think it's fair to say we've both said things on this podcast that like I'm not happy with, or like they come out wrong, and I'd like to go back and just scrub them from the internet and my memory and everything.
I'm just gonna do a whole. I'm gonna do a whole we live around my socials, and then we'll get going because we need to get going. We do need to get going.
Should issue a full on apology. Oh.
Yeah, full on YouTube apology. Live Hallway Wrestling.
I don't know.
Hallway Wrestling Podcast. Hallway Wrestling Podcast episode 100, 101. An apology. I can't wait.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Just bad jokes, I think, or jokes in poor taste that weren't good for the time, and then looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Man, Twitch are clamping down on sexy. They better not ban us for this hat. It's very warm. I'm too sexy. Just too sexy for this hat.
No worries.
I'm too sexy for this hat.
I'm too sexy for this hat.
And on YouTube, funnily enough, which is mental. How are you, Karen? Pre-show, Shmisha? How are you?
Tired. I started a job, listeners, recently. I've been working the last 5 days in a row, so I'm genuinely really tired.
Making that bank, though.
Yeah, that's the best part. I got more money than I've ever had just on my person before. I have now, and I've only been working.
When you get your first paycheck, you automatically go to what you can buy. Have you had any urges to buy anything that you haven't been able to buy before?
I bought €60 worth of books because I'm an idiot. I don't read too often, but I've been reading The Witcher lately. So I'll show you what books I got. I got a Sally Rooney book. She made the what's it called? Normal People. She made the book that was that show it's based on. Then I got this thing called The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House. I got a book called What White People Can Do Next, which I don't know. Part of me is shut up, Karen, and the other part's that'll actually be really interesting and really informative, and maybe hate me. Help me.
Eddie. My good friend. Sorry, we got my good friend Eddie Sideburns. Was a fantastic show. Had a fantastic show with Aaron doing it. If you're into football, the Aaron and Eddie football show is fantastic. I believe they were live last night and on Sunday with Alan Farrell. It was really, really good. They're going to be doing a lot of Euros content. And Domi is here. Don't they have school? Nah, man, I've been off for a month. I'm just sweating my bollocks off here. But we're going to get into Double or Nothing in about 2 seconds. But thank you. Yup, Double or Nothing. That's my friend Jack, who hasn't a clue about wrestling, but he's going to watch.
Is he Tomfoolery, or is that a different one?
No, don't be doing that. He's Dexy's Midnight Blade Runners. Jack will be furious there. Speaking, they had a rap battle on college radio. They don't like each other at all in kayfabe, Kayfabe.
Oh, in kayfabe. Yeah, wink, wink.
Keeping the fabe going, man. Got to keep the fabe going. Good old kayfabe.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Live on YouTube, and I hate the way you can't do links on you. You have to have a certain amount of followers to put in links on Instagram. What the fuck's that about? That's just so stupid. Eddie says
it's probably to prevent spam things. What did Eddie say?
Eddie said they weren't live last night, but they will be live tonight. That's fantastic because I'm looking forward to their Euros content. And Jack said, "Watch yourself, Kieran."
Speaking of Euros, have you seen the Eurovision? The Eurovision? Did you watch that?
Jesus, that was a terrible segue, man. Football to sing it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't, and I'm never going to watch it again.
Fair enough. I don't know. It's very fun watching. Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm just going to say Ireland were shite, and the guy who the guy who sang for England looked like Chris O'Dowd, and when everyone started getting angry about England getting no points, he made a very good joke. That's all I know.
Oh, it's so funny watching them get no points though, because you're like, yeah,
oh man,
fuck you, England. It's the best every year.
Did you see that big Brexit politician putting up being like, let's put Ed Sheeran in next year and see them give us no points again, the wankers? And I was just like, fucking brilliant.
I mean, it's the Eurovision. I don't know why they're in it. I don't know why Australia in it. I liked Australia's song though. I won €15 from it. Did we talk about this last week? I don't know. I can't remember.
I think we did. I think we did, but it's 2:05 and my family comes on with 3. So I think we're going to start the Double or Nothing show. 4 people in the chat, and I'm really looking forward to talking about this pay-per-view. So Kieran, whenever you're ready, hit that intro and we'll chat.
Yeah, well, hello. I'm your host, Kieran Brennan. With me is always my co-host.
The man that Jeanette forgot rain. Sorry, Domi's comp just came in here and it just sent me right as I was meant to talk about the intro. Oh, Jesus, that's brilliant. Someone commented points should be allocated to countries that were the bravest in World War II. Oh, Eurovision, lovely. But the man that genetics forgot rain, I am here on a sweltering hot day in Dublin. It must be at least 19, 20 degrees, Ken.
Oh, maybe, I don't know if it's that hot here. It's cloudy here. Is it cloudy for you?
It's a little bit cloudy, which means it's humid. I'm gonna get the guns out because it's absolutely roasting. I'm
wearing a Manscaped tee. You can't see it.
Are you actually? What a man! But I might get us banned on Twitch because I'm extremely sexy right now, as you can tell. But no, I've had to do some jobs for my mom this morning, including going to the shop, and I am roasting. But I'm ready because I'm really excited. It's good. The sun is out. Summer is finally here. Things are looking good. The pubs are open next week. And we had a massive pay-per-view to talk about. AEW Double or Nothing. Kieran, you just watched it. I am so happy the crowds are back. But before we get into Double or Nothing, we talked about Kofi Kingston last week and we're like, yes, Kofi's going to get his moment. Drew beat him last night on Raw. Goodbye. What do you think about that, Kieran?
What the fuck are they thinking? Like, oh my God. It's if you want to make people like Drew, which they really want to make people like Drew, don't have him beat Kofi Kingston. Don't make people excited for Kofi Kingston push and then have Drew beat him. Terrible decision. I don't want to see this match. It's Hell in a Cell. I know that. They'll probably break open the cell door because they're 2 big men and they seem to like pushing through things. But fuck me dead. Who gives a shit? It's been like half the year these guys have been feuding. I'm sick of it.
Kieran, don't tell WWE to fuck someone dead. They might take it literally. Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to some good wrestling because Kieran, AEW Double or Nothing, 5,000 people packed into Daily's Place on Sunday. I watched it live on the Hallway Wrestling streams on Twitch with Sam from Rogue Opinion. Shout out Sam and Clon. We will talk about the live stream after we review the show. But Kieran, how much of an impact did the fans have? Because it was electric from opening bell. We'll talk about I just want to give a shout out to the pre-show match before we go on. Serena Deeb and Riho for the NWA Women's title was a fantastic match. Serena Deeb just healed it up just to add that dynamic, and they went hell for leather for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it was fantastic. But Kieran, it hit me straight away, and I'm sure it hit you straight away. That crowd was insane.
Fucking incredible. It's so freaky seeing them all close together, isn't it? But like, it was really packed. It looked fantastic. I don't know if did it get darker as the night went on, or did they just close the windows or something?
Windows. No, Daily's Place is an open air arena, so it started quite and in summer, as we can see, it gets dark at like 10. I'm playing golf at 7 o'clock tonight. How I'm so happy about that. Like, I'm playing the golf at like 7 and it will stay bright until I finish. So it was bright out for a lot of it, which is really cool. It was cool during the opening match, which we'll get onto in a minute. But Kieran, we always get a set review from you, and you told me straight away that you really enjoyed the set. I love the one entrance in the corner. I love the way the crowd was set up the wall. The noise was just insane. I was getting goosebumps at some points during the night, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But the set was beautiful.
It looked fucking awesome. I really like the open air thing. I think, did they try it in one of their first ones, like Fight for the Fallen or something, like just before Dynamite started? And it didn't really look nice, but it looked so good here.
Yeah, I think Fight for the Fallen was correct. That like setup specifically, like the one entrance. Yeah, but I just loved it. I loved everything about this. Like, there was one thing I didn't like about this pay-per-view, but everything, 99% of this was just fantastic. And Kieran,
also, a smaller
Go
note,
ahead.
but I don't know if they fixed this on Dynamite and I just haven't noticed it, but the crowd sounded so good, and I think they've started to mic them better, because that was a big problem for a while, I think, but fuck were
Well,
they
there's
loud
more of
tonight.
them.
It was
There's
insane.
three
I
and a
get,
half.
yeah, there
There's
was more of them as well, but still, you know?
Yeah, but man, we'll get on to this. Do you remember I keep saying it's a hill I'm willing to die on about Hangman Page? There is no doubt in anyone's mind after that opening match that man is the man to win the title. Holy mother of God, they ate up everything. Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. Team Taz were told not to come out by Brian Cage. But Kieran, Hangman Page's entrance was electric.
Cowboy shit chance, man, you know?
Oh my God. And I have never seen, correct me if I'm wrong, but even for the smallest of punches or moves, they bit on absolutely everything. And this was exactly what I want from an opening match. Brian Cage, the best he's ever looked. So quick. The suplex to the outside, just fantastic. I love this.
Yeah, it was a really solid opener, and I think, I don't know, it looked really great. Well, I don't even know what to fucking say. It's so weird reviewing shows. I thought Page himself was great. The crowd added so much to it. They were clearly drawing an energy from the crowd. The finish was really cool as well. I'm not really into Brian Cage, but he was very good in this. I like Taz. Very good match. Really good opener. I really like this show. The bits that I've seen, I've really liked it.
Yeah, no, Page, the suplex the outside, as I said, the F5s, Cage was just so athletic. Then I'm reading off my notes on my computer, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking down. Hook and Ricky Starks made their way to the ring finally, against Brian Cage's wishes. Taz was great on commentary. Hook, who looks ripped, distracted Hangman, distracted the ref while Starks slid the FTW belt into the ring. Cage was just like, I don't want it, threw it back. Buckshot Lariat to an absolutely unbelievable pop, and Hangman Page gets the win. Brian Cage and Hook and Hangman downs a beer, cowboy shit, as Kieran just changed his profiler, and then Ricky Starks and Hook started having an argument with Brian Cage, and I love this little bit where Brian Cage went for Ricky Starks and he pointed at the neck. It was like, you can't touch me, I got a fractured neck. They've sown the seeds on a pay-per-view for the story development with Team Taz going forward, and that's what I like. You rarely see in WWE the way they have a pay-per-view and they focus on it. They don't kind of leave the door open for like Dynamite, whereas like on this show they announced the matches for Dynamite the week after. I love the way they like, just because Brian Cage I feel is going to split with the way it's going, and I like the way they sowed the seeds for that and kind of gave hints to that. Really, 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 really good opener. I loved it. Just Hangman Page, send them to the moon. Like genuinely, that man has to be the next person to pin the champion. I mean, I'm not one of them all. We'll find out. It's Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is still the AEW World Champion. Everyone has seen it. But Kieran, we talk about moments and realizing that the crowd are back. Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley's entrance gave me genuine goosebumps. Holy mother of fuck.
They were fucking loving it. You could see the reaction in their faces. They were having a great time.
I wish I loved life as much as Jon Moxley does. I really, really do. Your brother and sister are here, James and Rachel, and they're here for the perfect time. Because Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, his first match in front of a crowd, Kieran, I was just like, it was almost like, I don't know why, because Eddie Kingston is like this cult hero, and he kind of finally got his break and was in front of no fans. He was just so loving life, and like he was loving Moxley throwing the chairs everywhere. Wild Thing was belting into the arena. It was kind of emotional. There was a few points in this night where I was like close to tears, and I'm not afraid of saying it because it was just so cool after a year and a half to see like Hangman and Eddie, and we'll talk about Jungle Boy and Britt Baker just getting their moments.
Yeah, it was really cool. I didn't think Jungle Boy was going to win this. There was a lot of suspense in that final two. I think it was a Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get on to that. We'll get on to that in a bit, which I have a lot of thoughts about that. I was so happy about that. But Jesus, Moxley was fucking loving life. Like, genuine. I loved this.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Really, really good match. I didn't expect it to be this good, but it's kind of like, I don't know, have we had much interaction between the Bucks and John Moxley before this show or like this storyline?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I
yeah,
don't feel like there was.
because Moxley teamed with the Bucks. We'll get on to Domi's comment in a minute. Moxley teamed with the Bucks for a bit and helped them out, and then they turned on Moxley and then just started like just breaking Eddie Kingston's leg, and they started becoming dickheads. That's when they turned and joined Don Callis, and now the Bucks are just like these. You saw Nick Jackson with the tanned hair, like the dyed hair and the beard, looking like Randy Savage. And they're not the colorful anymore. They're like they wear their like shoes. Eddie and Mox had the shoes that they stole, which is just great. Yeah, this match was great. It was a perfect blend of styles. The fiery babyface comebacks when they happened were, oh my god, the crowd just loved them. But one of the fantastic. I don't know why people don't do this more. It's more a Japanese thing, and probably that's why they don't, because of respect. But when the streamers went up and Moxie and Kingston just battered the Young Bucks around the place, they beat up Brandon Cutler, and the match hadn't even started. And then the match got started, and it was just a perfect example of two teams with different styles just working perfectly and creating like a really, really good match. And you genuinely believe the points that Eddie Kingston might get his moment.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Really good match, really good suspense. I think the two teams worked together a lot more than I thought they would. Maybe I've undersold how good the Bucks are, but they're clearly able to adapt to other people's styles, you know?
Yeah, I predicted the Young Bucks for this, but I genuinely, in the back of my head, was like, I think they might give Eddie his moment here. That would have been a huge pop, but obviously it wasn't to be. But Eddie didn't take the pin. Moxley took 4 Moxley, first of all, bled everywhere. Oh my god, the man just loves to like just cut the slit. It's one of them. He usually just like bleeds a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just starts running out. When I think the Bucks punched him in the head, which I believe is what he probably wanted. The Bucks like punched the open wound, and it just started gushing. Eddie's babyface comeback here, and that was one of the loudest moments of the night when he got that where Nick Jackson started punching him and just no-sold the punches, then booted him in the head. That was just, yeah. And then obviously it took 4 V triggers to put Moxley away, which protects Moxley. There's a bit of so-so about if Moxley's going to go on paternity leave. Yet to be seen. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would, but you know, maybe Renee.
I think he would. I think family comes first, you know, even if he is that passionate about wrestling, you know, and it's fair enough. And especially if they do set up something where he breaks away from Kingston or for whatever reason. I don't know, but
thanks for putting that comment in the chat here. Domi says they look like midlife crisis Shawn Michaels and late 90s Hardy Boys mixes. Yes, they do. They are just embracing this kind of swiney, sniveling twats like moniker, and they're doing it quite well because they're making me hate them. So they're doing a very, very good job of that. And just Moxley and Kingston was just absolutely fantastic. Young Bucks win. I have a feeling we're building to, I don't know if the Pinnacle are still feuding with the Inner Circle, but Santana and Ortiz had to be up next for me. Or Paige, even though they lost Paige and Scorpio Sky, are a good show as well, but that'd be heel versus heel. There's loads to do in that tag division. The Varsity Blondes got a huge pop in the next match, so maybe they can get a rematch at that because they are over. Fuck. Or maybe even the Dark Order. Actually, sorry, Dark Order, 100%. Give me John Silver and Alex Reynolds in a feud with the Young Bucks straight away. So the fact that I've just named 5 tag teams quite easily there shows that the tag division is in a good place going forward. Well, yeah.
Would you say it's the best tag division in the world?
Right now? Like, NXT is really good, but I just don't like NXT booking anymore. Yeah. I just don't really... I just don't see where... I used to be excited for storylines, but now NXT, sadly, I literally am interested in NXT anymore. I've been trying to touch around that subject and being like, trying to give it benefit of the doubt. But like seeing a show like that last night, like I genuinely, I don't see how there's competition in terms of who's better right now. And as Domi says, it's under the brand of WWE Wrestling. And I don't want to, we're talking about AEW here, but yeah, it is the best division for me because NXT is sadly losing its identity. And
that's fair. I wonder when we get fully crowds back for NXT, how that'll affect it, you know? I feel a big part of it was kind of that electric crowd that we did see last night, you know? Probably not to that same extent because Double or Nothing's crowd was incredible, but you know.
Let's hope.
The fan base is a big part of it. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but anyway, Casino Battle Royal. Although this wasn't as good a Battle Royal as the last one, because the last Battle Royal was one of the best ones I've ever watched, where the Final Four was just amazing and it was really well structured. This was a little bit messy. It wasn't like, but it's a Battle Royal, you know you're getting. So we had the first two come out, the clubs, and we had Matt Sydal, Christian Cage, Matt Hardy, which is just really weird. It was kind of Powerhouse Hobbs, and I believe Dustin Rhodes. And Max Caster's rap was decent. He got the crowd. He had the crowd with him anyway. The thing about you lost your edge with Christian, and Christian looked in the camera and said, "Who's that?" Was quite funny. So yeah, Caster kind of got the crowd up and then eliminated Sydal with a low blow. What were the moments? What did you... we'll get on to the surprise in a minute, but Kieran, I loved Penta dressed as, I believe, the Joker. I believe that was...
I think so.
What did you think of any moments in the Battle Royal apart from the surprise and the ending? Did you like anything? Was there any bits that you enjoyed from it? Was there any bits that stand out? It was a bit of a messy Battle Royal, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. But I guess that's kind of the nature of this whole thing. I liked when Big Show came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, Big Show was in AEW, and then remembering that was announced months ago. I liked when, what's his name, Komoroto?
Nick Comoroto, yeah, from the factory, like the heel faction. That was good. I'll give you one. The pop one after the other. Varsity Blonde's got a huge pop, and Cole Cabana from the Dark Order and 10 attacking Matt Hardy. Huge pops for those. Another ground up project. Dark Order getting the pops was quite cool. And Varsity Blondes, who were, for my money, one of the most improved. At the end of the year, I'm right now, they're in my top 3 of most improved wrestlers. Really, really enjoying them. Yes, Domi, I agree. Powerhouse Hobbs is a stupid name. And he needs to do something other than smirk. And he's a good wrestler, but like, what is there to him other than he's in Team Taz? But yeah, so before the Joker was revealed, we had Jungle Boy, Christian, Matt Hardy, and both members of Private Party in their slacks. And the Joker, Kieran, was Leo Rush.
What did you think of that? Joker, I think. I was really surprised at that. He's been in New Japan the last while, has he?
He has. He's been working in New Japan. Yeah. And by the way, we'll just talk about it now. Mark Henry is now the coach and analyst on Rampage, AEW's new show. And Leo Rush tweeted out to say, yes, for those who are asking, me and Mark Henry squashed our beef and had a chat last night, which is nice to see.
That's really great to hear. Is Rampage, is that going to be like a SmackDown type thing or what?
We're yet to be revealed, but it might be like a developmental thing. I'm not sure yet. I love Dark Elevation, by the way. I'm really enjoying Elevation. They have some really good matches on there. And I trust them to put on a product that's enjoyable. It's Friday nights, I believe. There's a lot of change going on in AEW at the moment with moving to TBS, and they're having a few Friday night dynamites. But yeah, Leo Rush was like, for the bit that he was in there, and fair play to him, because he didn't, like, when a Joker, he did his moves, but he wasn't in there for long. He's quick. And some, like, just the two or 3 minutes or 5 minutes that I saw of him makes me want to see some matches from him, like him against Pentagon, him against Phoenix. Holy mother of fuck, that would be amazing.
He's had a crazy career. He was in WWE, left it, came back, left again, New Japan, now AEW. He's had a really interesting run, hasn't he?
He has indeed. He's interesting, and he's got charisma. Like, I think he could do really, really well, like in that kind of mold. And there's some big man, little man matches he could have that would be great. Like him trying to take down Cage or something. There's endless possibilities. We'll talk about him hopefully when he maybe has another match on Dynamite soon. But we get down to the final 4 and eliminate Private Party get eliminated. Private Party and Matt Hardy eliminate Rush. Cage and Jungle Boy teamed up to eliminate Private Party. Hardy was desperate for Cage. He was like, Christian, we go way back, even though we insulted him 15 minutes earlier. We go way back. Let's take him out. They were about to corner Jungle Boy, and Matt Hardy gets shown out, and we have Christian versus Jungle Boy. And can I just say, they are great at this final elimination sequence. That avoiding the elimination from Jungle Boy where he swung around the ring post. Oh my God, I popped so hard for that. It was so good. He's so athletic. Like one slip there, which is It's very humid in Florida. To do that is impressive. And they had just he tried to do kill switch on the apron, but finally, your winner of the Battle Royal in a shock win, because I predicted Christian Cage, is Jungle Boy. And hearing Tarzan, another moment here where I was close to crying or I had goosebumps. Hearing Tarzan Boy belting out in the arena, everyone singing it, including before the elimination, and having Marco Stunt run out and Luchasaurus run out and celebrate with him. Man, that was so cool.
It was a great moment and a really good final too. I didn't know who was going to win. Or maybe it was everyone was picking Jungle Boy to win, but I kind of thought Cage would. And he came back in afterwards, didn't he? And like shook his hand or something.
Man, everyone was predicting Cage would win, and to have Cage come back in and say, "You go beat Omega. You are the man. You have come all the way." A year ago, Jungle Boy was just a starter project for AEW. They've built him up to being that big deal, and Christian Cage giving him that kiss on the head and saying, "You go beat Omega" was insane. And to have the Tarzan Boy is just a tune, having Christian put him over, that's exactly what Christian should be in here for. Those are the moments why.
As much as I do harp on a bit about AEW, picking up, known WWE guys and kind of using them, they've done a good job at building up a couple of, I suppose, homegrown talents. I don't know how much Jungle Boy did before AEW, but like I certainly had never heard of him. Yeah,
in terms of
they've kind of built in themselves and kind of he does feel like a bigger name now. I'm looking forward to that match against Omega eventually.
Yeah, before AEW started, we had Britt Baker, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, all indie wrestlers that have had sporadic appearances on WWE. We had who else am I talking about? The Dark Order never really did TV.
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. See the people on this pay-per-view tonight and where they were before the AEW. That's storytelling and growth, and that's investing in people and putting characters on them. And that's what I was so happy about. And that's what makes this pay-per-view one of the best I've seen in a long time. But yeah, Jungle Boy wins the Casino Battle Royal and will face Kenny Omega for the belt in 2 weeks, which is going to be a fantastic match. You can just tell the dynamics. The story tells itself, doesn't it? The plucky baby face trying to suck the odd. It writes itself. And now I'm going to get Domi's comment up here.
What a great match.
This was just so much wrong with this. There was so much wrong with this. Did you watch this?
I had a brief look at it. You kept telling me not to, so I didn't really stick around.
Right. Cody versus a Go-Go, right? Few problems. A Go-Go is a pretty, apart from, he's got those punches, which never got used. Well, got used once, but didn't have he's relatively new in the wrestling business. Why is he going 20 plus minutes? Why? Because Cody is turning into Triple H. The ego is getting to his head, and the man leads 20-minute matches on pay-per-views. The crowd died during this.
You subscribe to the theory that it's all part of his plan and that this is what he's trying to do. Is that something you believe in, or do you think he is just a bit of a loony?
I mean, man, when you make that much money, no matter what, you have to get him. You have to factor in that, he's the boss, and the final thing goes by him. He could put someone over, as Domi loves this. Cody booking himself like Ripple H and signing his mates like Hogan.
I love that name, Ripple H.
But man, a Go-Go should have got more moves in. He should have been protected more. Cody coming out with just his new team, the sped up version of his team, really good. That was the only good thing about this. QT Marshall getting involved. Man, I forgot to say, in the tag match, Frankie Kazarian, who has been booked as the elite hunter, he said he's going to hunt down the elite after ending Christopher Daniels' career. Him getting involved and taking out Carl Anderson was another one of my favorite moments of the night. I completely forgot about that. Where Kazarian just jumped on Carl Anderson. He said on Dynamite he was going to hunt down the elite one by one and make them pay, and he did it. But anyway, back to Cody Rhodes. Oh, no, man. It didn't sit well with me. I just don't like the fact that a Go-Go should have at least got something to he did he didn't come out with this looking strong at all. No. He lost the baby. He didn't get one thing that hurt Cody Rhodes. Maybe the punches were he got one gut punch that was kind of sold half-heartedly. This was all about Cody, and they had the whole kind of. I know it's a Memorial Day weekend, and I'm not going to get into what that means to America because that's not my place. But obviously, they had this kind of whole Cody thing going on. They had him dressed as Kieran. Do you want to talk about what he was dressed like, or what do you had a theory of that it might not have been, or maybe Cody's a bit out of touch? Do you want to talk about that?
It looks like he's dressed as Homelander, and as we're talking about this, I'm looking at his like what he was wearing and what like Homelander's costume is, because I fucking love the boys comic and show. And for those who don't know, Homelander is like he's dressed in like red, white, and blue, and he has the golden things on his shoulder that Cody wore. And Cody's wearing something very reminiscent of the costume, but Homelander is like Superman and he's like Captain America, but he's this totally fucked evil person who is just horrible. And unless Cody's a total fucking moron and doesn't understand that Homelander is supposed to be a villain and he somehow agrees with this horrible murderer, it's got to be self-aware. There has to be an element of Cody knows that he isn't necessarily the good guy in this situation. It has to be. There's no way. No, he can't be that dense.
He is going to turn heel, but the problem is he was doing an America gimmick in Florida. You're not going to be a heel. You're not going to be a heel if you're doing a Yes America. As Domi says, the dude has a skull with an America flag on it. Like,
but is it secretly genius, right? Is it like the best thing ever?
He was fighting an English person. He was fighting a non-American person. What did he think was going to happen?
I don't know.
It was, again, another reason. The crowd, obviously there's lows in shows. Those first 3 matches, and 4 if you include the buy-in, were so good. And they were in the sun. It was sweltering. There was bound to be a lull. And if there was one match on the card that I wanted there to be a lull for, like I wanted a hype for a few more matches. The crowd obviously had to have a break. And they did here. It was just quite lully. And then Cody won with the vertebreaker, which is also called, someone can correct me, it's got something to do with, it's called the gun something, which is the irony. But Cody, just waiting for Cody going, what's he going to do when the red and blue runs wild on you? Oh, Domi. I love that. But yeah, Agogo was solid, but he needed something and Cody didn't give him anything. But anyway, Miro versus Lance
Second
Archer.
Amendment or something. Imagine if he did go on about that. That would be insane.
The 104 holes, but with the amendments. Just, no. So Miro and Lance Archer. Now listen, hear me out here. This is the start of a feud, and it was right after a 20+ minute Cody match. This was exactly what it needed to be: quick, exciting, and left the door open for more. It did exactly what it needed to do. The Lance Archer dive at the start nearly killed himself. He nearly landed straight on his head. It was quick. It was fast paced. We had the Jake Roberts snake thing. I don't think PA of the house would be very happy that a snake got thrown onto a stage. But Lance Archer was really, really good. Miro was really, really intense. This Miro I love, Kieran. What did you think? Lance Archer passed out. He didn't tap out. It's going to continue. I think the payoff will be that a good payoff will be like a last man standing match. This didn't need to be like the perfect match. It just needed to be quick, get the crowd back, which it did, and then end on he passed out, not tapped out, which is perfect for me.
Yeah. And Miro looked fucking big and strong in it as well, especially at the start when they were fighting at the entrance, couple of big boys. There wasn't much to it, but it was a solid, fun match,
Yeah, you have to understand when you're building feuds, this is the start of a feud, not the end of a feud. They only have begun. They needed to leave the door open. They did. I'm enjoying the promos between the two. I think they could build a really, really cool feud on TV and then build up to like Fight for the Fallen or Fyter Fest, which would be really cool. But anyway, another great moment. Hikaru Shida versus Brit Baker. This was by no means, when you strip back, maybe the Serena Deeb and Riho match was a better match in ring. But in terms of moments, you had another thing in Hikaru Shida, who had carried the women's division through a rough period and through the pandemic, getting her moment in front of fans here, which is really cool. And then you had the coronation of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And I say DMD because every time she did that, the crowd fucking screamed it. And that just shows how over she was. And it was so cool to see. Her family celebrated ringside. I'm not even going to talk about the quality of this match because the moments just made me happy.
Yeah, it was a really nice to see her kind of get that crowning moment at last.
Yeah, and that's not that's not to take away from the match. The match was really, really good.
Yes.
It was really, really solid. There were some really good moves. I don't know. Maybe they might have been caught short for time. I'm not sure. I think the match went the right time. I think maybe Miro and Lance Archer was short for time. I believe after the Cody match, I fully believe that might be a thing. The curb stomp. I love the way. Did you notice about Britt Baker's gear? Did you notice? Did you notice the symbolism behind it? The kind of the red blood dripping like design. That's the whole gear.
I didn't
the
notice.
whole gear. The whole gear was a symbol for her face at the end of the unsanctioned match.
That's awesome.
In my opinion, anyway, I don't know if that's confirmed, but it definitely looked like it. And the glove, the sequence glove, made it look like a big deal. It was built around her going for the lockjaw. Shida has some seriously cool moves. And Britt Baker won with the lockjaw. And if you look on Twitter, there's a video of Britt Baker's family celebrating. Fuck me, it was so cool. And at the end, it was so nice. So nice to hear "Thank you, Shida" chants from the crowd. Every single person stood up and said "Thank you, Shida," because we said it all the time. We said it on Moxley. Carrying the company through a pandemic without crowd after winning the belt was really, really tough. But she's done a fantastic job, and she will get the belt back in front of fans because she's proved that she's very, very good in ring. But any final thoughts on this, Kieran? Britt Baker is champion, the new belt. Tony Schiavone giving her a hug. It was all great.
Really great that it happened in front of a big crowd. You know, as it should.
Yeah.
They waited the right time to do it. You know, great moment.
Exactly. Now, lads, are we ready? The two people in the chat, and we had 10 at a peak, so thank you very much for coming along. But Kieran, are you ready to eat your words?
I suppose. I still don't agree.
Sting.
Look, Sting was very good in this match. I still don't agree that he should be wrestling, but he was good in this match. Don't fucking do it too often, though. You know.
But man, can we just let's not talk about don't do it too often. Sting was amazing.
He was very good in this. I'll give him this one.
Man, okay, let's talk about this. The entrance was really cool. Darby Allin is such a good film videographer. As someone who's into kind of video editing, Kieran, how cool was that kind of opening package? These are all edited and directed by Darby Allin, by the way.
They look great. They're really nice looking. Maybe he will go into that in the future or something, or he'll do a lot more promo packages for AEW in general because they're really impressive and really nice. And I wonder if he allows Sting or whatever to have a bit of input into it, you know?
Yeah, well, he directed the street fight and all that as well. So Sting would have known about it from back in the day. But now, so the teams brawled, but then Sky hit a suplex on Sting and started gloating on the poker chips. Sting pops straight back up and the crowd goes insane and he just stares at Sky from behind him, pushes him off on Ethan Page and does a crossbody. What was your reaction? Did you shit yourself when this happened, Kieran? Because I did.
I don't know if I shit myself, but yes, it was very surprising and just
not literally, but
oh, you literally shit yourself.
Yeah, I literally. Yeah, it was late at night. It was 4 a.m. I had a few beers with me. Oh my god, Darby Allin getting thrown into the crowd.
Yeah, really
Jesus. Cool. Because this was, I don't know if you know the story, but there's a metal plate in Darby's elbow. Ethan Page did that to him on an indie show, and there's a scar on his head, and that happened in a match with Ethan Page as well. They had a big feud all over the indies. Huh. Really cool storytelling. Sting hitting the code red was just such a cool moment. Every time when he got the hot tag and he was just swinging Darby everywhere. Exactly what you would want, Kieran. Just him using Darby as a battering ram, not doing too much heavy stuff in the middle, and then doing the Stinger splash. And the ending to this was out of nowhere in a fantastic way, wasn't it? The ending sequence of Scorpio Sky. By the way, Scorpio Sky, shout out to him. Him and Ethan Page played their part brilliantly in this match.
Yeah, just Stingers what is his move? The Stinger splash, or is it the something death drop or whatever it's called?
It's the Stinger Splash and then the Scorpion Death Drop and then the Scorpion Deathlock, which was all got huge pops.
Yes, as they fucking should. Fair play to him. He looked pretty good. For someone who's, I think he's 63, he looked fucking
He's 62.
Good.
He's 1 year. He's 1 year old. He's 1 year younger than Tony Schiavone.
Wow. That's crazy. But he did look really good in this, to be fair.
And it was another just moment. You know, just a moment.
Yeah,
just
a WrestleMania moment.
The whole crowd, And then we got on to Kenny Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Kieran, this was just brilliant. This
Fantastic
was
match.
great.
Really, really great.
This was so good. The way they meshed the three styles was amazing. Orange Cassidy in the entrances, even the different reactions in the entrances in the ring. Orange Cassidy coming out to that song. I forget the name, but I love it. Did you see earlier in the night the three screens of them preparing for the match?
No, I didn't.
On the highlights. So there was like three screens. You know the way they have like that thing in boxing where it's like the three point of the sign moment. Yes, so you had Kenny Omega throwing basketball balls into a hoop. You had Pac like doing press ups, and then you just had Orange Cassidy just sitting there on the chair doing nothing, with Trent and Chuck Taylor doing like shoulder blocks to each other in the background, like warming up themselves. And then Chris Stanley in the back. It was just great. I loved them. But yeah, Kieran, so much to talk about in this match. The suicide, like, what are we gonna get started on? Like, Orange Cassidy getting the Superman punches, the double Hurricane Rana on both Pac and Omega at the start. Pac is just fucking good, isn't he?
He really is, and he's great. It's like him when the referee was down. Omega's holding up the belt. I think like halfway during the match. Like Pac crawling along the ground, just trying to reach up to the belt, looked really fucking good. He's good at those smaller moments as well, you know.
Yeah, the Michinoku, the Brain Busters, fuck me, they were close. Like, as in dropping people, like, as brutal as you like. Pac having Cassidy in the Brutalizer, you know, the move to put Omega away before. Yeah. And, like, Omega just trying to, like, you know, the way it's a triple threat match, there's no DQs. Omega just trying to break it up. Like, just trying over and over again to break it up, but realizing that Pac's not going to let go and there's no DQ. So he ends up just pushing Bryce Remsburg, the ref, in the face and, like, knocking him out. And then Cassidy hits the beach break, and Aubrey Edwards runs in and does the 2.5, the near count for Orange Cassidy. That moment was amazing. Shout out Matthew O'Reilly's in the chat, however. But no,
Matt O'Reilly.
But Kieran, that was probably my like fair moment of that match, where you had like the brutalizer into the near fall for Cassidy. It was just great.
Yes, agreed.
And then there was so much. It was just so good. We had then Don Callis just take out Bryce Remsburg. Like, I think it was him who took out. Well, I think Omega. What did Omega do to break up that brutalizer? No, did he? There was so much going on, man. Elbow cuff. But the referee got taken out by Don Callis.
What do you mean elbow cuff?
It says elbow cuff in the Twitch chat. I think it's spelling out the elbow cuff. I love that.
Fuck me dead.
But anyway, don't stop saying that's the thing. But yeah, so Don Callis get interrupting and Orange Cassidy just ignoring him was really, really good. Like he was angry, but he just went to the top rope. And then the finish of this match. What do you think of the finish? I loved it. I loved it out of nowhere, like the near fall for Orange Cassidy into the roll up for Omega, and him like Kenny Omega got out by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, just kicking fucking Pac's head in or whatever. Really?
Yeah, no. He caved it in with all the belts. What did you think of that? Like him using all the belts and then like using the AEW title last, and just getting the skin of his teeth. Orange Cassidy looked amazing. Pac looked amazing. On Tuesday, we have Pac and Pentagon versus the Young Bucks. Oh, yeah.
That'll
an
be
angry
really
Pac. Angry Pac against the Elite again. I can't wait. Phoenix is out injured, apparently. Hopefully he gets well soon.
I would argue this should have main evented. I don't know. I would have liked Pac and like Cassidy to get another main event, you know?
Yeah, it was the co-main event. I understand what you mean. I personally thought they should have split the Stadium Stampede and the triple threat with Sting and Cody. Sting and Darby against the two. I would have had like Stadium Stampede. I would have had Stadium Stampede and split with the tag match, and then Cassidy and Pac for crowd purposes. But taking nothing away from either of these matches at the end. This match was great. Kenny is still champ. Orange Cassidy looks great. But Kieran, it's time to go on to the Stadium Stampede.
Just, I think when you have a crowd back, why would you end on a match that doesn't really involve the crowd too much? You know.
But the crowd was really the live crowd sang Judas.
Yeah,
that was the live crowd there,
which is cool. But like, were
and
they just sitting there watching the video? Like,
they were watching the video, and then obviously, and then it came to the ring at the end.
yeah, I know that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Still
but
feels like a bit of a thing. Their entrance was cool,
I would
like when all the zip wires.
We'll get on to it in two. I'll agree with you, but for what the finish of this match was, should they sell tickets for Stadium Stampede in the future? Yeah, correct. Get the fans in the stadium, even though they fight backstage. Get the fans in that stadium if you're doing Stadium Stampede again, Domi. 100%. That would be electric. Could you imagine? You could fill it. Like, you could fill this. I'd go to that if America was that one.
I'd look. I don't know if you could fill that, like, however many
but you could get
tens of thousands of people would fit in there. But like,
you could get each side. But let's get on to this Stadium Stampede. So a limo pulls up. MJF was alone, and obviously he had a mic, and he could have really like cool kind of "Where are you?" promo and stuff like that. And then the inner, I'll let you do this, Kieran, because the Inner Circle's entrance, Judas in front of a live crowd is insane. Fozzie's music is dog shit, but Judas in front of a crowd with wrestling, with them rappelling down the stadium, was so cool.
Yes, it was a really nice, and there's a bit of fire in there as well, in front of the big Bud Light sign, which I thought was so funny.
And
but
then
it was still a really cool entrance. It's a nice way to come down. I feel like it hasn't been done. It probably has, but I don't know. I've never seen it before.
It also had a Dick's Wings entrance sign as well. Shout out Dick's Wings.
Of course it did.
If you want to sponsor the podcast, Dick's Wings. But anyway, so MJF was alone. He got into the limo, and as they propelled down, like Judas in. I can repeat that song now, which is great. I'm going to sing that next time on karaoke. But yeah, no. As they like hit the ground, the Judas in my mind hit, and it was really cool. They went off and tried to attack the limo, but they weren't there. The FTR arrived in a truck, and the brawl began. So we had Hager and Wardlow, we had Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara, we had the two tag teams, and we had MJF and Jericho. A really simple format that was done really well, in my opinion. And the difference between this year and last year was a bit more comedic. I like the serious tone here, Kieran. What do you think of first of all, the kind of split up of the dynamics, and then also like the kind of more serious Stadium Stampede that we got?
I think it needed to be a bit more serious, because if they did 2 years in a row of a really comedic one, because last year's was very comedic, then you're just kind of setting yourself up to be that you're limiting the stipulation to be a comedic thing, but by making it more serious and more of like a grudge match than anything else, you give it that room to kind of be anything, and it can be a more versatile thing. Because, like, take Hell in a Cell, for example. We could never have a comedic Hell in a Cell. That would be so weird and so off.
No,
but now the Stadium Stampede they could try. But the Stadium Stampede now can be something that is a bit more all over the place and can be a bit of everything,
Yeah, so the few comedic stuff we had was from Jericho. So we had Jericho and MJF one-on-one, and MJF ran into the stadium running away from Jericho, and they began there was someone trying to do a meeting, but then MJF and Jericho came in, and one of my favorite moments, Kieran, was MJF getting floored by Jericho with the megaphone. Where they were fighting, and the Jericho just screams into a megaphone and bursts MJF's eardrums. So good.
It's clever. Clever.
They would just be MJF threw hot coffee in Jericho's face. Poor guy, 3rd-degree burns. Baking trays, tables, and the Jaguars coaches were there. Did you like that bit with the coaches?
Yes, that was nice.
Yeah,
it was a bit silly, but nice.
The table bump though was like, I love that, like, chair hits the brakes, flips into the table. I love that. Hager and Wardlow had a really cool big man battle, smashing each other through walls, icicles and freezers, and then ended with Hager smashing Wardlow through a load of wood, I believe it was, like off the top of the golf cart, which was great. That was weird. I swear Sean Spears was going to do a Dancing on Ice routine.
It's very odd. It was a weird way to open it. It would be something you'd see like Aleister Black doing or something, but it's just the chairman, Sean Spears. I can't believe he's still running with that gimmick as well. Very little crowd reaction for him as well.
Yeah, forget, like, like he was part of a really cool moment at the end, so we'll let him away. So like they just brawled. I like the way Spears threw the. I like that little touch, even though it's completely wouldn't happen, where Spears just threw the bolt cutters away in favor of the chair, and then Sammy got handcuffed, and then Sammy found it perfectly hidden underneath. Fair play to Sean Spears if he threw it underneath first time. Like fair play to him, but yeah. Domi saying it was supposed to be that video game boss moment, but Spears is just a wet fart since leaving NXT. Exactly. If he was built up really well and that was a moment, then it would have had an impact, but he's just done really nothing and is like the all one out in the inner circle. I really love the FTR Santana and Ortiz bar brawl where they poured the glasses of like whiskey before or whatever it was before, and then you had Conan, who are FTR's boys, man. Not FTR, LAX's boys. Like Conan is the one who trained LAX. He's the one that brought up LAX. He's the one who brought them into TNA as the original LAX. It was a really cool moment. Really, really loved it. Yeah, I'm there. Sorry. If I cut out, I'm just saying I love that Conan, the Conan moment with LAX, the bar brawl, and just everything about that was really, really cool. I loved it. What did you think of that moment?
Yes, very cool. Agree.
Yeah, and Conan getting the shot on Tully Blanchard was really, really cool. And then obviously they took each other out with the bottles, like the sugar glass bottles were out in force. Like Dax was like throwing them everywhere. And then Santana and Harwood or Cash Wheeler brawled into the lift, and Ortiz and Dax Harwood were brawling around the stadium. So that took them out. So then we had, I believe MJF nearly pinned Jericho in the boardroom after a pile driver. And then Jericho and MJF into Daly's place. That was absolutely wild. The powerbomb, the MJF being crocked with his dick hitting the metal pole. The crowd was popped huge when they came into the stadium. And then the powerbomb that Jericho hit to Hager and then celebrate with the crowd after was a really cool moment. I thought MJF took that powerbomb really, really, really well. It looked really, really rough. And then Jericho got a huge pop. I like that moment before we talk about the ending, Kieran.
Yeah,
agreed.
That's good.
But I love this. It's a full circle moment again. Someone who was built up by AEW and is going to be the future of the company. Sammy Guevara getting that moment at the end. I loved every single second of that.
Yeah, they definitely put a lot of spotlight on him in this, which is cool.
Yeah, because he is a star. He ran down Spears with a golf cart, which is really cool symbolism. Because Sammy was the one who got rammed down by the golf cart last year. He's grown a lot. He's developed. And now he's the one hitting someone with the golf cart. A little bit of symbolism. We love it. Spears hit some chair shots to Guevara, which were pretty brutal, which is all he can do. But Guevara managed to kick out. And then Guevara stomping Spears into a chair. I didn't like the "no, Sammy, you little bitch." I don't know why, but like in terms of like a really brutal fight, that just made it sound really comic booky, if you get me, Kieran.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I didn't like that. Like you didn't really need to do it. Like his arms were pinned behind his back. I get that. Like he's fucked. Like he's still awake, but he's like he knows what his fate is. But like just say no. Don't say no, Sammy. You a small thing. Sammy stomps him into the chair, which is Spears. And then the 630 was insane, Kieran. The pop for it and the execution of the 630, which is it's just an insane move in itself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you do that to yourself. It looked really good. And he wins. And the crowd singing Judas at the end as the Inner Circle, battered and bruised, get into the ring. And the pay-per-view ends with the Inner Circle there with the Judas in my mind. And then it cuts and it's over. I love that. Love the ending. Love the fact that Sammy got over. Really, really good match. I think match of the night was the triple threat, but this was not far behind. Brilliant.
Yes, really solid. So, yeah, probably the right winner as well. You don't want to see the Inner Circle break up just yet, you know?
No, they've got a bit of legs, and this feud's got a bit of legs. So, before we go, I don't know what else to say. I'll give that a 9 out of 10. I'm only going to take 1 point off for Cody Rhodes. I really, really enjoyed it, and that crowd was just so it was so many cool moments. And I think, as I've said before, it was just the running narrative throughout the night of people who either weren't in front of crowds or were built up from AEW from the beginning, showing how much they've grown in the last year. Even though the fans weren't there, the pandemic gave AEW a chance to push some stars they might not have got to do with crowds, because it's very tough to do that kind of like push people without getting that kind of. They benefit from that kind of online reaction and kind of the minimal crowd reaction they had, and they've set themselves up brilliantly for the rest of the year. I loved it. Any final thoughts here?
Great to have crowd backs. Probably the biggest plus of the entire fucking show was that nice big crowd. Hopefully, you can keep growing. It's very happy to see them back.
Cool. They're going back. They're going back touring very, very soon, so that should be coming back soon. But yeah, I think we're neat 55 minutes. It's just a shorter one this week because it's really, really warm. It's so hard to do an hour, and nothing happened on Raw. Literally nothing. Nikki Cross, it seems to be getting a title shot against Charlotte Flair. Against Rhea Ripley. Yay. And Tamina and Natalya are still tag champs. And Cesaro and Rollins are still feuding with each other. And I don't know. But I've kind of gone off main roster at the moment. I just don't. They're just not doing it for me. And when you see a show like that, it's very hard to go back to WWE and actually enjoy it, if you get me, Kieran. When you see a crowd like that and a product like that, it's tough. But long live AEW. Really, really cool. We will talk about everything next week. But next week is going to be episode 99, which means episode 100 is just around the corner. And as we announced, the 12-hour broadcast is happening. We have graphics being made for the schedule and the punishments for myself as we speak. But shout out to Hoochhausen, Callum, Mr. Ringsiders for doing that graphic. It looks absolutely amazing. And actually, before I leave, Kieran, I want to tell a quick story.
Go on.
Do you know who I interviewed this week? Did you see it?
Who did you interview this week?
I interviewed for the Ringsiders alongside Callum, because Callum got his the vaccine.
Flu jab.
I'm going back into the 80s, man. No, Callum was a bit drowsy, so he said, will you come on? I interviewed The Ascension this week. And I, also known as The Awakening now, Big Vic and Con, and I just got to say, it's two of the nicest people I've ever spoken to. Absolute legend. Lovely. Absolute legends. They're so sound. They're getting back on the indie scene. They're going to beat up Matt Cardona, apparently. They told some really cool Dusty Road stories in the accent, which was just insane. It was so good about you should watch it just in all its glory. But basically for promo class, Con, also known, Con from The Ascension. Yeah, he put down Mike Hunt as his name for the promo class, and Dusty Rhodes was going around being like, I know who this is. And he's like, because Big Con was part of like the vampires in NXT, like a vampire gimmick and original Ascension, and he was like, it's one of them vampires. And Con was like, oh no, he's got me. He had to go in and apologize to Dusty because he put Mike Hunt. We had a really good chat about everything, about Cody Rhodes in particular, because they were in the Cosmic Wasteland, about fighting Itami and Finn Balor, fighting the legends. It was an amazing chat, so go check that out, please, on the Ringsiders YouTube channel. They're smashing interviews at the moment. But yeah, 12-hour charity broadcast in aid of Jigsaw. We are trying to raise €750. The link is in all of my bios. It's very hard to put links. If you look at our Twitter, you'll find all the links. If you look at my Instagram, you'll find all the links. Hallway Grass Pod on Twitter. Rian Nocturne _172 I believe on Instagram if you want to find the bio there. Hallway, everywhere. And then Rogue Opinions, you'll find it there. There's a lot of people retweeting it, so you will find it. Please donate. If you can only donate a certain amount, maybe save it for the broadcast to punish me. But 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on 12th of June, we got 12 shows lined up. Kieran will be involved on the first show where we're going to be reviewing 2 movies, and we just have so much stuff. I'll release the schedule soon. It's a lot of work, man. I really hope it goes up without a hitch, but I'm really excited. I really just want to raise a lot of money for Jigsaw. You'll find all the video and the reason why we're doing it on my Instagram and my on Twitter again. So just check it out. And as I said, donate, do whatever you can, and tune in. Like, there's so many, like, even as Kieran, I've told Kieran some of the shows, it's not like just wrestling or just ending. There's a bit for everybody. So if you like a particular thing, there'll be something there for everyone. It's not just wrestling. There's a bit of a variety there. We've got debate shows. We've got eating challenges. We've got like just everything. And we've got some really cool punishments. So And if we reach our €750 goal, I will be getting blonde frosted tips in my hair. So please do donate.
That's actually not really a punishment. Reen just wants to do that anyway. So
I don't, trust me. I will not look good with blonde hair. I'm not shaving my head again. But we're going with blonde frosted tips. My friend Jack, who's going to be running the social media for today, who was in here earlier from Dexy's, he's going to dye my hair. So check all that out. All the links, everything. Thank you for.
Have you ever gone bald, Reen?
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah. I was confused. I know you did like shaved head once. I couldn't
pretty
remember
close.
Bald, though.
Well, not really bald, but I got pretty close. I'm not gonna go full bald, man. I have a square head
and I'm ugly. You should do that after the stream. Go on the stream.
No, I like the length of my hair right now. It's at a good place. But anyway, we had a peak of 10 viewers in here. We're gonna start streaming to YouTube and Twitch more often because it was really, really fun. We got some YouTube interaction. Thanks, Domi, for all the chats, and thanks for everyone for coming in. Kieran, I believe we're just over the hour mark, which is a nice time for a little podcast, and it was a really positive one. Maybe we should just do Double or Nothing reviews, or AEW reviews every week.
Let's just do Double or Nothing reviews every week.
Yeah, just everything. But anyway, Kieran, sorry, elbow cough. That's why I have on my screen. Look, I might come up as the emojis now.
It does. It's the dab one, man. It's the dabbing emoji.
Yeah, but it comes up as like the kind of the instructions.
Lovely.
But anyway, Kieran, any recommendations actually before we leave? Yes. Any recommendations before we leave?
I haven't really watched many movies this week. I read the book we were talking about earlier. Everyone should have a look at that book. If you're a white person like me, have a look at the book, What White People Can Do Next. It's like a little essay about what we can do next. And I'm finding it very informative. Also, the poem that was read at Joe Biden's inauguration, The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman, is really nice, really beautiful. Watch it for free on YouTube. I got it as a book form, just because I'm an idiot and I have no concept of how I should value money.
No, you know what you did. You got your first paycheck. That's what happened.
Exactly.
This book can go in two directions. Don't. Oh God.
Yeah. Hopefully the right one. Not the right one, the left one. I mean.
Yeah, but anyway, as far as my recommendation, I think we harp on about him a lot. But Logan Paul, if you want to, he's fighting Floyd Mayweather this Sunday. Don't buy the pay-per-view; it's €90. But
it's 90. No way, really.
Yeah, he bought. Floyd Mayweather is a dick, but Logan Paul, he did a podcast with the True Geordie. He was a fantastic interviewer. If you want to take a look at the kind of Logan Paul that everyone should see and not the one that people perceive on the internet, go watch that chat, because I've watched half it already this morning, and it's just a really cool insight of him going like, people are like, oh, why you find Floyd Mayweather? You're like, you're shit. He's like, it's a win-win situation for me. If I land a punch, I can play that video over and over again and I win. Like, why are people like, I'm going in there against the best boxer of all time, and he's getting old, and he goes, what? And he keeps saying this thing like, what if for the last year I didn't like how I performed the KSI fight, and I trained for a year, and I trained nonstop, and I worked my ass off, and I actually put in the work? What if I actually like? It's not like people are so quick to go like, oh, why are you doing this? Exactly. This podcast is a good example. Why are you doing a podcast? Like, it's not going to get anywhere. Why are you doing something? Why not? Like, what's the risk behind? There's no risk, literally no risk behind Logan Paul doing this. Like, literally none. And it's like a really cool insight.
Watch him fucking die.
No, it's Floyd. It's Floyd Mayweather, and he's like 3 foot tall, 3 foot shorter than him. Unless he got caught with like a cock punch that killed him, there's no way Floyd's. Honestly, I might put money on Logan Paul to win. I don't even know why, but
put like a $5 on. Fuck it. Who cares?
But it's Kieran gets his first paycheck. $5. Who cares?
You know what? Yeah, I'll throw a $5 at it. I can bet now. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose all my money.
Do not. Trust me, do not. But yeah, just go and listen to that. It's a really cool perspective on Logan Paul. Now he's got a really, really cool kind of interview up there. So go and check that out. But Kieran, I've been the manager. I forgot. It's time for you to take it home. Thanks all for listening. Thanks for joining in. It's been a really cool afternoon. I really enjoyed.
Yes. Well, this has been the Hollywood Wrestling Podcast. I forgot to say the name at the start, so there's a slight chance people don't know the name of this if you're listening on audio. With me as always, I've been Kieran Brennan. With me as always, my co-host.
the man of change forgot rain, and that has not been Kieran Brennan. That has been big money, Kieran Brennan. Woo!
Oh yeah, I'm rolling in it, baby. And as we say at the end of every episode of the Hall Written podcast, donate to the thing, our charity thing.
Yeah, actually, big money, Kieran Brennan. Donate a bit to the pot, or save it to punish me. Yeah, or donate now. I don't really care. But yeah, donate, please. Donate, because €750 will be achieved. Yes, please. Goodbye. See you later.